You've probably heard the magic number, $1 million. Save $1 million and you're set for retirement, right? Pop the champagne, buy the RV, move to Florida, live the dream. Except here's the problem. $1 million isn't nearly enough. Not even close. Warning, and the fact that so many people believe this myth is setting them up for a financial disaster they won't see coming until it's too late. Flex biceps today. I'm going to show you why that $1 million target is basically a participation trophy in a game where second place means eating ramen at 70. Make sure to subscribe and like this video, because we're about to blow up some retirement myths that financial advisors love to keep vague. Section 1. The 4% Rule. Bar chart. Let's start with the 4% rule, because this is where the whole retirement fantasy begins to crumble. The 4% rule says you can safely withdraw 4% of your retirement savings every year without running out of money. Sounds reasonable, right? The math seems simple. $1 million times 4% equals $40,000 per year. Congratulations, you're living on 40 grand. Light bulb. But here's the thing they're missing. $40,000 in 20 years. Inflation is going to eat that purchasing power alive. Warning, over 20 to 30 years, inflation typically erodes 25 to 30% of your money's value. So that $40,000 you're planning to live on will feel more like $28,000 to $30,000 by the time you're 80. You're not maintaining your lifestyle. You're watching it slowly deflate like a balloon with a tiny hole. Section 2. Healthcare. High voltage, and we haven't even talked about healthcare yet. Warning, healthcare costs in retirement are completely separate that most people just ignore. Medicare doesn't cover everything. You've still got premiums, co-pays, prescriptions, dental work, vision care. The average couple needs around $300,000 just for healthcare expenses in retirement. That's not included in your nest egg calculation. That on top of everything else. Warning, there's also this dangerous gap between age 60 and 65. You retire early, but you're too young for Medicare. Your employer health insurance is gone. You're stuck buying private insurance, and those premiums can be $1,500 to $2,000 per month. That's $18,000 to $24,000 per year before you even see a doctor. And the wild card, long-term care. Nursing homes cost $7,000 to $10,000 per month. That's $84,000 to $120,000 per year. If you or your spouse needs 3 years of care, you're looking at $240,000 to $350,000 just for that. Section 3. The spending myth. Now let's talk about a dangerous myth. You'll spend less money when you retire. The logic sounds reasonable. No more commuting. No more work clothes. No daily lunch expenses. You'll downsize and simplify. It's a beautiful story. Light bulb. It's also completely wrong. You finally have time to do all the things you've been putting off for 40 years. You want to travel, see your grandkids across the country, fix up the house, play golf, take up hobbies. All of that costs money. People don't naturally downgrade their lives. You get used to driving a nice car, living in a comfortable house, eating at decent restaurants. You can't just flip a switch at 65 and suddenly be thrilled about clipping coupons. Bar chart. Let's run the actual math. If you're making $80,000 a year right now and you want to maintain that lifestyle in retirement, you don't need $1 million saved. You need $2 million, because 4% of $2 million is $80,000. That's the number that actually matches your current life. Section 4. The ramen scenario. Red heart. This is the eating ramen scenario nobody talks about. You thought you saved enough. You did everything the articles told you to do. But now you're 70 years old and you're choosing between paying for prescriptions and going out to dinner with friends. You're skipping vacations because you can't afford them. You're stressed about every unexpected expense. That's not retirement. That's financial anxiety with more free time. Section 5. Living too long. But even if you solve healthcare, there's another variable that destroys retirement plan. Living longer. I know that sounds backwards. Isn't living longer supposed to be a good thing? Sure. Until you realize your money is going to run out while you're still very much alive. Warning: most people plan for a 20-year retirement. You retire at 65. Figure you'll make it to 85. But what happens if you live to 90 or 95 or 100? Suddenly that nest egg needs to stretch for 30 years or more. This is the longevity lottery. Nobody wants to win. You beat the odds, you stay healthy, you keep going. Congratulations, you've just outlived your money. Now what? Bar chart. There's also something called sequence of returns risk. If the stock market crashes in the first few years of your retirement, your nest egg takes a massive hit right when you're starting to withdraw money. You're pulling out 4% every year, but the market just dropped 30%. Now you're withdrawing from a smaller pile, which accelerates how fast you burn through your savings. Section 6. The real numbers. Light bulb. So here's what they're missing when they tell you to save 10% of your income. That advice is based on assumptions that don't match reality anymore. Flex biceps. Here's the formula. Most people need 25 times their annual expenses saved to retire safely. Not 25 times your income, 25 times what you actually spend every year. If you spend $60,000 per year right now, you need $1.5 million saved. If you spend $80,000, you need $2 million. That's the math that actually works when you account for inflation, healthcare, and longevity risk. Bar chart. Let me break down the calculation. Take your annual expenses, everything you spend in a year. Subtract whatever you expect from Social Security. Let's say you spend $70,000 per year, and Social Security gives you $25,000. That leaves a $45,000 gap you need to fill from your savings. Multiply that gap by 25. That's $1.125 million. That's your target.
If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe and check out the next video where I'll show you the exact moment you never have to invest for retirement again. See you there.